It's so crazy what this story is doing to me. The fact that like I was like completely normal. I was going into the game. I was like, not like I was like, you know, I'll play. Let's play Honkai Star Rail, right? And then I go into like the menu where you have to like switch over to Phainon, and almost instantly, my heart starts to feel weird. You know, my body. I'm like, all of a sudden, I'm like feeling it all over again. Like, it's so crazy what this story has done. I feel like to all of our emotions it probably did as well, because, you know, I guarantee you guys were feeling very similar to how I was feeling as well. Hello, BB Gang says, this is Calvin, also known as Omer, and this is my first ever playthrough of Honkai Star Rail, and here we ignite that primal sun. The lightning all around here. We're about to meet up with Hyacinthia, and I said last time that this is probably going to be one of the harder ones because I know it sounds so bad to say this, and like it really does, and I have no problem saying that. Like, it's definitely a very bad outlook. The fact that, you know, Casters is like a fighter in a lot of ways. Mida most definitely is a fighter. You know, all these people that we face and faced off with were people that like have been involved. You know, like Cypher fought off the flame river. Again, that doesn't make it better that we destroyed. I want to make it clear, it doesn't make it better. But I think it's honestly, like, natural to feel this way when, like, Hyacintia's whole story is about, like, healing people. You know what I mean? And, like, if we have to, like, fight Hyacinthia, this is going to be even more brutal than it's already been. It's already been brutal. It's already...
Return the dawn to this world.
Did you say return the dawn to this world?
Because raging fire.
Your deaths won't be in vain.
Your deaths won't be in vain. And that's the problem that Casters had.
Never been.
Yes.
Let the sunlight drive back the shadows.
Because Casters are saying that to him as well. Like, what? Like, Phainon would never see these people's deaths in vain. He would would have. That's not a thing he would ever seen, like, at all.
Bring tomorrow to this world.
Oh, bring tomorrow to this world, which means, like, bring the peace to this world, right?
The sunrise.
The sunrise. What a use of every single character here, by the way.
Finish the sun's work.
This is so heavy. So heavy. Oh, you can run in this section. Oh my god, look at that. The reason I didn't run is just, I think it just felt natural not to run. Does that make sense? There's something in me that just was only letting me push the analog stick a little bit. Look at all these characters together, these Chrysosairs together. What's Hyacinthia gonna say, man? Oh, and she turns around right as we get here as well. What's she gonna say?
I believe in you. You are the Chrysos heir of world bearing.
No.
The one who can lead us. Lead this world.
And we said this last time as well, like the belief that they have in Phainon is...
It's just... I don't understand. Within the sun upon your shoulders, the part of that warmth that should come from you, from an ordinary person, it's so faint.
So he's saying that like the warmth that should come from being like himself, maybe, is not there.
My humanity is indeed just a flicker.
No.
Compared to the blazing fire of divinity.
Oh, that's so brutal to even hear. That's so brutal.
Even so, don't cast it.
That's the thing. It's
away.
like it really does feel like he's walking down the path of becoming almost like a mythological being itself, you know?
I never have.
It was what she can feel though, Kaslana. It's what she can feel. It's what everyone else can feel as well. When everyone else is looking at you, telling you that you either have a messiah complex, or you believe that you're some savior, or that you don't have to do this alone, or that using the deliverer term as a derogatory term, even if you feel that you haven't lost a part of your humanity, your mind is not all there.
I have kept everyone's wishes close.
What about you
to
though?
my heart.
Like,
Even though the divine fire burns so fiercely that every time I return to the start, it devours me in an instant.
Like this is like we've never heard Phainon even nearly speak this. And it's again, I'm going to talk about in a second what I think they're doing here as well, but I want to make sure.
Cycle. It's your wishes that guide me to the end. That pass the flames to the next me.
It's your wishes. He's saying like it's you that keep me going. And again, I don't deny that this is how the journey has started. This is how he feels. We talked about how much he cared about people, how much he carried the weight of people on his back. But I think it's fair to say, in my view, that his need to save these people has been almost like lost in the shuffle of the fate that he's brought to himself. Is nothing. They would never want this for him. They would never want what has happened to him. They would have never wanted to see this for him.
Over and over and over again.
It's intentional. It's 100% intentional what they're doing here. They intentionally not showing Phainon's eyes, which a lot of people believe is the gateway to the soul. Again, I don't, obviously, people believe in souls or whatever, but and I'm not spiritual at all, as you guys know. But I mean, in a sense of someone's personality through their eyes. You see their humanity through their eyes. And I believe even if you don't believe in spiritual nature things like I do, I don't believe in the spiritual nature stuff, but I can see, you still look in someone's eyes and you get to know them, right? There's a reason why they didn't show Phainon's eyes there and then they transfer right over and you see her eyes first thing. Not even see her eyes, a close up on her eye. He's looking at, and you could also say as well, it's like we can't see his humanity through his eyes. You could also say as well, if you wanted to use another interpretation, and say that he can't even look her in the eye right now.
So, you're not just a lone spark in the dark. You're a pyre built from the bones of all the selves you've
And they
left
said this
behind.
before, right? The firewood. That's the way Casters described him as well, right?
But what about you?
Yes, exactly.
What about your wishes?
It's so intentional.
The wishes of all the countless versions of you.
It's so intentional. And now here's the thing. I do think that it could be a thing where we're going to see his eyes and they're going to look so different, right? 100%. But I don't think we can deny the symbolism of him, of not seeing Phainon's eyes, but seeing a close-up of Hyacintia's eyes. Her looking right at him looking down. There's no way you can brush past this.
Lord Kaslana. So that's how it is.
Lord Kaslana as well, by the way.
Without flaw. That is the flaw the golden blood gave you. The most fatal flaw of all, isn't it?
So that's the way they described Phainon before, being without flaw. But the way that we kind of went to think about what we meant with no flaw was the way that we eventually, was the way Cyrene described him was that actually he's just going to grow and become the perfect person for this job, the purpose for this purpose. And I wonder if they're saying that because he's saying that he can't have a flaw, that's a fatal flaw. Is that he has to take this on. He can't think about himself. He has to take on this entire burden, and that's the biggest flaw he has.
The moment you took the world upon your shoulders without hesitation, you lost the chance to ever be yourself.
I wonder, I think that's along the lines of what we were thinking, right? It's this idea that if he, as soon as he took on this job, as soon as he took out everyone else, he never got to think about himself. Or truly have his wishes granted.
Now that is an unexpected revelation. And I suppose that makes me the perfect fuel for the flame of deliverance.
You're a person.
Doesn't it?
You're a person.
No. An empty flame saves no one.
And now they're both not making eye contact with each other.
But
no, here she is, yeah.
I still believe in you.
Oh my god, Hyacinthia.
Deliverer.
Of course she's the one to say this as well. Of course she is.
Hyacinthia, the Eye of Twilight, am neither strong enough to command the wind and rain, nor willing to end this absurd struggle by letting the sky fall. The only thing I can do is become one with the sky itself. And then,
Hyacinthia.
may the gentle colors of the rainbow
Oh, the
paint
echo?
your sun in shades it has never known. May they bring Amphoreus, a rosy-fingered dawn.
A rosy-fingered dawn. Oh, wait.
Though the light
Aqua?
has grown dim,
Hyacinthia.
War still lingers. Deliverer, please. Open your heart to me.
She's asked. She's not even like. Oh no, we didn't even get a second. We didn't even get a second. We didn't even get a second. So her saying, by the way, I want to add shadows to your sun is not her saying she wants to darken his world. It's more of a case of what I want to add layers to it, almost like I want you to see the other side of this. She wants him to think about this in a nuanced way. They didn't even give us a second, by the way. They did not even give us a second. There's not even a choice at this point. And I think that's, again, this game doesn't do anything by accident. Him not giving her a second, even a thought, or like a second chance, or like a thought process of like, should I do this, is a showcase of like the fact that I feel like he has done this so many times that he is becoming more and more numb to it. Yeah. We'll talk about more about this afterwards as well, but I do think it is like the whole idea of adding shade to your sun is to add more. Oh my god. Wait, is this not the move that ends everything? No, it isn't. Okay.
Fire. Burning.
It hurts. See, I think as well she's also wants him to feel the warmth of the sun while he's feeling the burning. He's like burning himself in this idea of the sun, rather than feeling the warmth. So brutal. It's so freaking brutal. The new world's dawn. Look at all the stat boosts we have, by the way. This with rock, by the way. Oh my god. Here we go again. It does feel like it's he's done this so many times that this is just second nature at this stage. You know what I mean? There's no joy in these battles. There's no, again, as we said last time, there's no epicness. I'm not sitting here going like, oh my god, I get to use this really cool moveset. Oh my god. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't feel that way. Oh my god, look at that. And it's the counter. And the way he just says farewell, again, because you know for a fact he still loves these characters, 110%. But he's becoming numb to destroying them now.
Your sun burns hot enough to turn everything to ash.
And his sun should be enough to warm people.
But tell me, how will the seeds of a new world ever take root?
If everything keeps getting burnt, if everything keeps getting destroyed, how do you make a new world out of that?
The core flame rose. The sky
23 million.
The 23,570,000th cycle came to an end. And this time, the end of the flame
And this time
remained the same as ever.
I didn't expect it to change. I didn't expect it to change whatsoever.
From the horizon rose a golden color unlike anything the world had ever seen. So pure it consumed all in its path. This was the end of the world, and the start of the next. For a moment, I saw the destruction of the universe.
He saw it like that. He saw the world being destroyed.
That being known as Irontomb. Its will to break free from the black tide burns fiercer than the blazing sun.
And that's what he's trying to prevent, is Irontomb from being born, from this destruction spreading to the rest of the world. At least that's my view of it anyway. Or at least this destruction destroying Amphoreus.
Is this Amphoreus' wrath? If its choice has already been made, if fate is set in stone,
wait.
I will still never yield to
Oh, and look. His eyes, man. You can see the kind of the embers and the gold reflected in his eyes, showing that he sees this destruction. He sees what seems to be fate and he's not going to yield to it at all. I'm sorry, but like, to me, why this is so insane is that this is an acknowledgement that the world is hurtling towards the idea of Irontomb emerging. The black tide destroying everything. And he's saying, even at this point, I will not yield to it. He sees no end in sight to this, but he's not going to stop.
23,570,000 cycles.
His voice.
282,840,000 core flames.
Jesus Christ.
No more chasing is needed. And now, I am the fire at the end of the long night.
I never wanted to hear Phainon even like come close to saying stuff like this.
The flame chase isn't some quiet walk through a sea of flowers. It's a revolution.
Jeez, his voice.
An all-consuming transformation. And if destruction is the only way, then let me be the one to step across the ashes of the old world and burn endlessly.
And this is the idea of embracing destruction, right? He truly believes at this point, after 23 million times of doing this, after that many times of doing this, that the only way through this is destruction. Burning this place. But as Hyacinthia said, yes, burning something can give birth to something new, right? But if you keep burning everything, how will anything new be born?
Until another dawn rises on the distant horizon.
This hope's still there?
Bringing the true dawn to Amphoreus.
It's such a strange outlook, and not a strange outlook, it's a crazy outlook that he has like, he's like, I will burn everything. I will stop Irontomb from being born. I will stop all this. I will stop fate itself, right? But it seems like when he says stuff like this, he's still holding out hope. You know what it's like? It's like someone who is like on the edge and they desperately just want someone to reach out to them. It genuinely feels like he wants someone to just grab him and honestly not take over, but be forceful enough to be able to do something. To do something. Anything. Because you can say he's doing this all himself. It's one onto the end. He's gotten that far. He's gotten that far.
33,550,337.
Thank God I said the hero within, because all I heard was the voice, and I was like, he's gotten that soft again?
This is the cycle you're about to
The final one before Irontomb, right? Before the last one. Before Lygus said, like, this is the conclusion. Jesus Christ, he's like struggling there.
Countless memories are flooding in.
Phainon.
Countless versions of myself have stood here, facing the same.
And he's called Phainon here, by the way.
They all needed a moment, just like you do, to stop, to breathe, to process the weight of 1,000,000 lifetimes worth of sorrow,
Oh, I see. Yeah, I see.
struggle.
I see. It's him. It's the new Phainon taking over the memories of the old Phainon, right?
And just like them, you will carry those memories and that fire into the chaos of rebirth.
Imagine what that would do to you, man, getting all those memories at once. Like, you're talking about, you're talking about hundreds of millions of memories, right? Or millions and millions of memories. Hundreds of millions of memories, right?
I must go and bear this burden. I must say goodbye to you, and then fight the destruction with destruction.
And see, it's again that idea of like embracing destruction, right?
Yes. That's always the
The
decision.
hero, yeah, that's it. He's the hero inside. He's like used to it. He's like, yeah, that's what you're gonna do all the time.
I will burn and fade away.
Yeah, there it is.
I will become the flame reaver of this life.
Yep.
and keep my promise to Cyrene.
Yeah, this is. And here's the thing: is like I think like we felt this idea that like, and again I don't know if it's 1-to-1, but the idea that Phainon would become a Flame Reaver. Obviously, we felt this from the moment the Flame Reaver took off the mask, and then he started talking the same phrases that the Flame Reaver kind of was used. They used to describe the Flame Reaver. Someone called him an executioner. Like they're not doing this by accident, so it's not like it's like, whoa, my god, big revelation moment here, as like we did last time. But it is one of those things that like it's like it doesn't make it any easier, right? I'll become a Flame Reaver to keep my promise to Cyrene. Did you think Cyrene wanted you to be a Flame Reaver? Do you think she wanted you to be the Flame Reaver? Do you think that's what she wanted to happen? I will burn and fade away. So, in this cycle then, if everything begins new, and maybe I'm wrong about this, does that mean that he will be the Phainon who gets killed then by the end? Is that what they're saying?
I will kill gods and comrades alike and steal the core flames. And even if my mind turns to ash along with my body, I will keep my purpose in mind.
It's so brutal. Nobody wants this for him. Nobody.
I will stop Era Nova. I will find the next me and make him carry on this futile endeavor of 30 million lifetimes.
That's, again, you use the word futile. And by the way, it's 30 million, not 300 million. Like, why don't I keep saying 300 million? Like, either way, 30 million, 30, like, at that point, like, I feel like once you get to, like, let's be honest here. As soon as you get to, like, 1,000 cycles, does it even matter at that point? Well, it does, obviously, but I'm saying that, like, it's already so brutal. He says futile as well, because he knows it's futile. He wants to continue on, have the next Phainon take over. He's going to be a Flame Reaver in this life, so he can keep this promise to Cyrene, suffer himself once again, and send another 30 million Phainons into the future to suffer again as well. Phainon will suffer another 30 million times.
Looks like you're ready.
And again, to me, like the idea of an eternal cycle, he wants to keep this going forever, so it can never happen. What happened at the end of this cycle?
Then I should be going too.
Jesus freaking Christ.
Where are you going? You only exist in my heart. There's nowhere else for you to go.
Do you remember what she said? The dreams you had as children. The deliverer in the prophecy.
Oh my freaking god.
A real, living, breathing person.
Oh my freaking god. This is the way we're showing up?
You finally found her.
So yeah, this okay. So Stell is like the dream you had as a children, the deliverer of the prophecies, a real living, breathing person. The person that like motivates him, the person that keeps him going. Oh my god, his face. Oh my god, his face. You know, this is the first time I feel like in all the cycles we've gone through where we've seen his face soften to a vulnerability. To a point where you can see his face almost like the original Phainon. It's almost like someone just told him that, like, not good news, but like relieving news. We have not seen even a slight smile or even that tone of voice from Phainon in how long? And it's not that he cares about Stell more than the other characters. It's not that. It's the fact that Stell symbolizes something. She really does. This thing that he's been asking for. Is there anything I could do with such a... Oh my god. Amongst all this craziness, Stell goes, is there anything I could do?
I don't have an answer for that, my friend.
His voice is softened so much once again.
I'm sorry. I was supposed to send you home.
That's true.
This is my flame chase journey. You were never meant to be a part of it.
Well, we are legitimately a part of it. We are. And I know, like, again, he's saying, like, I didn't want you to be, but, like, we're here.
No. You know the truth. If Irontomb is born from Amphoreus' fate, then it will bring ruin to the worlds beyond the sky.
Yep.
And all these countless lifetimes you've spent.
We could also ascertain that idea from the fact that he, he called it a practice run, right? That's, like, probably the most important thing as well.
It's all been for the sake of defying that end, hasn't it?
Yep. I hope it doesn't sound like I'm being like, yep, I knew. We all, like, again, it's one of those things, if you follow the lines, like, this is where it's going, obviously, like, and that's why he was doing it.
In millions of cycles, I've said goodbye to each and every one of you. Yet nothing ever changes.
Yep.
Each time we speak, our words grow fewer. Your fire burns hotter and you're getting closer to becoming pure rage. A vessel of hatred.
Jesus. Imagine, again, at the start of this journey, anyone describing Phainon as a vessel of hatred. If you said he was a vessel of love 4 episodes ago, I would have said you are so correct. You know what I mean? Like, he is the most supportive and, like, open and honest being that is in Amphoreus. So there's, like, idea that he would ever become this. And that's what, like, the Here Within is saying. It's like every time they talk, because he goes through more and more cycles, he has less to say to him. His determination burns brighter. His need to do this even gets hotter.
I never had a choice.
Oh, Phainon, what do you think? What do you think Hyacinthia was saying to you as well? I know from his perspective, it's like, I don't have a choice because if I don't do this, then who else will?
I understand. If you are to keep the worst fate from unfolding, this is the only
Like,
path.
I understand what he's saying. Whilst, like, Castor's saying you don't have to do this alone, right? While Anaxagoras and Cypher will basically say the same thing. You're going through a fantasy of a messiah complex. While all these characters are trying to get through to him, in his mind, and in, like, the reality that we know and what he knows and, like, all the information we have, he's saying to himself, all I can do is to prevent Irontomb from being born, is to keep going.
But this time, things are different.
Whoa.
Your persistence has shifted the tide. On the horizon, I see it.
Look at the boat.
Faint but undeniable. The shape of dawn, breaking through the eternal night.
Beautiful imagery, isn't it, with the boat as well? Because, like, to me, like, when I see the boat coming in off the shores with the sun coming behind it, that means people coming home from war. You know what I mean? That means people coming home after a long expedition. And I feel like, symbolizing using the boat as, like, someone coming home. Like, the idea of, like, it something arriving, and with the sun. And you can say sun rising as well, by the way, not sun setting. It depends on your perspective, I suppose, as well. It's really beautiful.
Turns out, the fire that lights the way was never mine to begin with.
Are you going to accept Stell's help here?
Do you remember, in that first timeline, you and Mightymost stood before the scales of justice?
Yeah, I do.
Locked in a duel. Each of you weighing what you held dearest. What weighed more than the fate of the world?
That hurt me so much because, like, it's so crazy that so much horrible things have happened that even that was a simpler time, and that was still a horrible time with the cycles and stuff like that as well, because that was still us going through, like, the lead up to what was going to become something very horrible, Does that make sense? Whereas, like, even when we were going through cycles and things like that, because at that time we were just, like, going through what we, like, perceived as, like, with Lygus as a reality, right? But it still was a gentler time than now.
And when hesitation took hold, the answer you sought from me.
And again, so it was Stell playing it. It was Stell playing the Hero Within.
What am I saying? I am you.
I am you.
Even if you buried me deep and chose another path, that fact never changed.
Incredible stuff here with this. Incredible stuff here with the hero within and everything.
Then let's try again. When you stood before the scales in hesitation, the answer you found in your own heart, do you still remember it?
He's so pretty. He deserves to be just like happy. You know what I mean? He really does.
Remember the past and become the hero of tomorrow. What weighs more than the fate of the world is the resolve to shoulder an immutable past
Stell.
and carry it into the future.
And we, at the time, we said that that describes Phainon in the way that he carries everyone on his back, you know?
Good. Then Trailblazer. My friend. My comrade.
Oh, Stell.
You arrived in this strange world and were bound by its cruel fate up till this very moment.
Yeah?
In the face of danger, you never once backed down. Instead, you've saved world after world without hesitation.
110%.
That boarding pass on your chest is now the mark of a hero.
Legitimately, like, Stell going from Balabog, Zansho, Penacony. And again, it's the reason why the Trailblazers are such easy characters to follow. Complicated as heck characters, so interesting. March as well, Don Hong, Welt, all these characters. The reason they're so interesting to do is that, like, as I said, like, if the world needs saving, and to save the world they need to throw gasoline on themselves to go into hell, they'll do it. You know, that's who they are.
If I choose to step through that door and embrace an end fitting of the destruction, let this sun forged from millions and millions of core flames burn me up along with the god of destruction and their minions.
Let the sun forged from millions and millions of core flames burn me up along with the god of destruction and their minions. Okay. So he's okay.
And the world we leave behind, this world,
What does he mean by this?
my home, where hope still lingers. Will you take on everything we've carried? Return to the beginning one last time.
Whoa.
Stop the birth of Irontomb, save the world we love, and rewrite
Wait.
its doomed fate.
Is it that instead of Phainon taking over this time, they're saying Stell will take over this time? Take on everything we've carried. Return from the beginning, stop the completion of the birth of the Irontomb. Because again, the unknown variable, right? Stell has been an unknown variable before. Is it that if she's the one who's starting it, then it changes? Again, if you're talking about experiments and extrapolations, she is the unknown variable. That could be this. Does that mean, well, what happens to Phainon? I'll be the dawn of Amphoreus. I think simple as heck. While I think Stell would like do something epic at this moment, I think even she feels the weight of this, you know?
Good. In that case, even
Oh,
this
he's a little
fruitless
smile.
wasteland may finally
Gorgeous.
bloom with flowers.
Do you think that's what... I think that's what they're saying. I think they're legit saying that, like, she will take on the journey instead of Phainon this time. Go back to the start. Return to the beginning for the last cycle. And then stop the Irontomb. Because, again, if you're talking about, like, you know, any experimentation you do, if you do an experiment, 30 million times and the same outcome happens every time, but if you change something like this so drastically, this time it's Stell taking over everything. And again, we already know that Stell can take on a core flame and I think it is to do with the Stellaron. You know?
So,
This is incredible. And again, it's like when Phainon was here like a while back, it felt like he was waiting for someone to take this over, someone to take it off. And I said it to you guys as well. It felt like he was kind of like begging for anyone to take this over, begging for anyone to kind of like, how do I say it? Like, rip him out of the situation.
If she takes on the weight of the whole world, she'll be able to walk further down the path of deliverance than a fire that only knows how to burn.
The belief he has in Stell. I mean, the belief we all have in Stell. I mean, she's a trailblazer.
One will step into the future,
And we know that Phainon always believed in the idea of the Trailblaze. It inspired him.
One will remain in the past.
The Year Within is gone, by the way, as well.
If I can strike down the gods with Dawnmaker, perhaps fate's deadlock can be broken.
Wait, the gods? Are you talking about the Titans or the gods?
And if you can stop Irontomb from ever being born, then these 30 million cycles will have not been in vain.
Am I wrong? And maybe I'm wrong in saying this, but it feels like to me that Stell showing up at this final cycle was because she was only here in this cycle, right? Technically. Am I wrong in saying that? Because Lygus was the lifelong friend of... When you said you were a lifelong friend of Phainon, he meant the Hero Within, who was within Phainon this whole time, right? But Stell actually wasn't here onto this last cycle. So is it a case that even though she is like an unknown variable, she didn't return to Amphoreus until this moment, maybe?
It's time to put our teamwork to the test, partner.
Oh my god, what if I die? Oh my god. Oh. Yeah. Beautiful. Fucking beautiful, man. So beautiful. Let's both be the deliver fight. Let's go. Let's do this.
Thank you for all you've done already, friend.
What? What? I didn't expect us to say this. To have someone share the burden with him is killing me, man. It's after all this freaking time to have somebody share the burden with him.
The image of the hero I've buried deep in my heart.
Oh.
Finally, steps into the light. Here. At the end of this long flame chase journey.
Yes, this is so like, amongst like this incredible darkness, like of course Stell brings a freaking light into this world. Of course she does. Of course she does.
Cyrene. A page never seen before has just been turned.
And that's what she said she'd wait for. A new page.
Lend me the power of time. And send this hero back to the origin of time. Back to your side.
Stell is literally going back. Like, that's why Stell is so incredible, by the way. But this is so heavily emotional, man. It hit me so hard. It hit me so hard. But the fact that, like, Stell is so willing to do this, you know what I mean? Like, she's going back in time to stop a Ravager from being born.
And I will walk the unfinished path. Just like the countless versions of me before. Unwavering as always.
To have somebody here with Phainon means the world to me. To have anyone here with Phainon. And
tell me, will
yeah.
you be the blazing sun?
There it is. It's like so, like, again, I know they keep confirming it over and over again, right? And I actually like the way they did this, by the way, where it wasn't like a big confirmation of like, you know, oh, like big shining light opera music. He is the Flame Reaver, you know, because again, that stuff can be amazing, but I think the way that they revealed the Flame Reaver stuff, right? Because again, I want to be clear, I love big reveals like that. We love it. We love seeing stuff like that, right? But the difference is this, like, for example, when they revealed Phantilia, right? They had that feeling of like, this is epic, this is amazing, because those moments need to happen too. But with this here, I feel like the Flame Reaver being a degradation of Phainon over time and Caslana over time, having this revealed with crumbs through a degradation makes perfect sense.
Even if all of you burns to ash.
Without hesitation.
Oh my god.
I will bear this world until my body turns to dust. Remember this moment. Remember your friends who never lived to see the world's end. Remember their final wishes.
Look at this. This is such an incredible design, by the way. It's insane. It's so insane. Can I say as well, like, does that mean the Flame Reaver this whole time, when the Flame Reaver was like going through this entire journey, like, you know, destroying things, taking the core flame, they were just trying to take the core flame for themselves? And in this timeline, they didn't get to take every core flame in this run around? Is that what I'm getting at? Like, they were trying to take the core flame. It has to be, remember, said it has to be, someone has to do it. They said it has to be me. Just like Phainon believing he had to take on everything as well. That's what the Flame Reaver was doing.
And let the purest rage in your heart rise out of those wishes.
This is such an insanely cool design.
Let it consume you. Fuel you. Until it burns away the false sky above. If I can defy fate.
Such a crazy moment.
Then in the name of world-bearing, I promise you, Kefali will never forget this.
What are we getting now? What are we getting now?
Take it.
That's Sirene's weapon, right?
Keep on burning.
Just like he did before.
As long as we are never extinguished, the flame chase will not.
Yeah, there it is again. The moment that happened before. Whoa. Whoa, Nanook. Nanook. Oh my freaking god. Wait, what just happened?
Do not bow your head to them.
Is this just a rebirth happening again? Stell, Mem! This music, oh my freaking god.
Take it. Trailblazer.
Take it.
May this blood be like gold. And never tarnish.
Oh, this is Stell taking everything on as well, right?
Farewell, Trailblazer. This is where I fulfill my final destiny. The prophecy of the Deliverer means nothing to me now. It belongs in the hands of someone far more fit.
Transferring that to...
Someone like you.
By the way, glad to have Mem back as well, by the way. Really glad to have Mem back. There's so much happening at once.
Kaslana, the name of one who bears chaos does not belong to a single person. Rather, it is the embodiment of the mythical Kefali, and a symbol of all heroes. As the prophecy foretold, you will bear the blazing sun until the pale dawn
The
breaks.
Trailblazer? Wait.
May the name accompany you in
Wait.
my place, in the epic you write with your own hands.
So, like, he's seen the prophecy. You will, you will bear the blazing sun until the pale dawn breaks. He sees the Trailblazer as the pale dawn. He had to carry this until the Trailblazer arrived.
Another attempt, another
Shut up, Lygus.
failure.
Jesus Christ.
I won't remind you how many times you've reached the end of history. But I will still place the choice before you.
If you've lost count,
Look at this
I
image.
tell you, this is the 33,550,336th ending.
A perfect number. How poetic. You and I both know the truth. In all these millions of futile endeavors, Amphoreus has never changed. If the outcome is inevitable, then why not silence your searing rage and embrace your fate?
Oh, Lygus, you don't even know him, do you? You don't even know him.
dignity.
You don't even know him. You don't even know him at this stage. I really think that like that the whole cutscene there to me was like me like again you know what I mean this game. To me it's like Phainon finally just being like, okay, hand it over to you. This is him fully kind of like accepting this form that he's turned into.
Your silence lasts longer than ever, Lord Phainon. Shall I take that to mean the will you've carried across countless cycles is finally starting to fracture?
Fracture? No. I'm just disappointed. I've retrieved memories
Look
from
at
30
him.
million past lives, and I remember every conversation before every choice here. And yet, even after all this time, your arguments remain the same.
Oh.
Repetitive.
Oh.
Uninspired. If you had any hope of breaking me, you should have spent those endless cycles refining your rhetoric.
Oh, I love anyone taking anyone like this down a peg. Yes, Phainon, yes.
You had infinite chances to sway me into the future you want. And yet here we are. The score, 33,550,336 to 0.
He's never convinced Phainon. He's never convinced him.
Tell me, Lygus, who's the real loser here?
Oh my god. Anyone talking back to Lygus at this moment is going to make me happy. Anyone.
How unfortunate. This was never a fair game. I have all the time and patience in the world. I can wait for you at the end of history another billion times, and another billion after that. But you will never escape this cage. You can claim victory of the spirit if you wish, but we both know the moment that score shifts from 0 to 1. That is the moment I shall sound the paean of Era Nova.
He's saying all it takes is one. All it takes is one. Right? Phainon laughing like maniacally here.
Lord Phainon.
Your incompetence disappoints me.
Jesus.
But what truly makes me laugh is your utter lack of self-awareness. Think about it. In this story, who is truly the one in chains? Who is the one shackled to mindless vengeance, mistaking courage, the courage to rebel against the gods, for foolishness?
Who's the one shackled to mindless vengeance, mistaking courage? Is he saying that Lygus is the one who like is seeking destruction, while Phainon keeps defying fate over and over again?
You...
Perhaps you're right. Maybe I should have tired of this futile struggle long ago. But even so, I will never accept the mercy of your release. Because you are both a prisoner to the gods and to me.
What?
And tell me, what right does a mere prisoner have to speak of fate and choice?
Phainon! Because again, that is unless Phainon, chooses to not to give in, Lygus is doomed to forever to observe history as well.
What right does a mere prisoner have to look upon my fury?
Oh my god, Phainon. Oh? Did he do it again? He did it again!
You know this is pointless. You can't kill me.
Oh my god, Phainon's design here is still so crazy.
Of course not. But I am tired of being measured against a worm the gods keep as a pet.
Oh my god, the talking down to Lygus here.
Listen well, creator of destruction.
Nanook.
This cry comes from all your abandoned creations. In the 10th cycle, I drove Dawnmaker through the heart of every Titan. Golden blood ran down my fingers.
So that's the Nuke's blood.
Divine fire seared through my nerves, nearly breaking my will. But I endured.
Look at him. I'm sorry, guys. Look at him.
In the 10,000th cycle, my former comrades had all become my enemies. The endless slaughter dulled my senses to pain. The painful emptiness almost swallowed me, forcing me to stop fighting. But I endured.
He remembers every single freaking cycle, man. He remembers every single one.
100,000th cycle. The destruction had already fused into a blazing sun, surging within this fragile body. My rationality had been burned away at the dawn of the era. Yet even with only this shattered body remaining, I still endured.
My rationality burned away. And that's the thing, it's like maybe he wasn't even thinking straight, but it's like I just kept going.
In the 23,570,000th cycle, this time, I felt it. A tiny spark rising in the hollow cavity of my chest. Different from the obsession with deliverance. By its faint glow, once again, no, countless times again, I endured.
So that little spark kept him going. Look at this speech, this voice, this oh my god, look at his face as well. This performance by Phainon's voice actor is absolutely incredible. This is insane.
Now, a sun is about to fall. Ready to incinerate this absurd space-time dimension in an instant. That sun is me.
Phainon.
All the countless versions of me from the past.
Holy hell.
Along with my countless brethren, dragged into existence against their will. Drowning again and again in your golden
Jesus.
blood. The very essence of this world's suffering and despair, fused into the purest hatred, the fiercest rage.
I've never... He's shaking with anger. His voice is... It's pure anger.
Nanook, you arrogant fool!
Oh my god!
You think we were born to only serve as fuel for the fire? Fine then! Just as you wish, let the fire burn!
For some, look at his face as well. Someone to directly talk to Nanook like this as well? Oh my god.
I was born as the blazing son of destruction. Then let you and your lackeys be the flares erupting from my core. And let this rage, burning futilely for 30 million epochs, engulf everything.
Oh my god, again, I can't get over his voice here. It's fueled by pure hatred for Nanook here. If I was born as the blazing son of destruction, then okay, that's fine. I'll burn everything.
Grant you a dawn where all stars burn to ash.
Phainon. Warning, warning, warning? Experimental anomaly detected. Subject Castellana has failed to load into a bubble. Oh my god, it's an anomaly. Memory dump irregularities detected. Illegal references, undeclared objects, unhandled methods, uncaught exceptions. Anomaly detected. Destruction. Energy. Nanook surging. Is that Castellana at the end? What are we seeing now? What are we witnessing now? Stop. Stop. That's baby Phainon. Stop. Cease this. Cease this. Cease. Cease. The animation's gorgeous, by the way. It's absolutely gorgeous, but... the rage. Oh my god, look at him. What is he looking at here? Oh my god, look at his eyes! What do you mean, are you ready?
I brought you destruction!
What? Huh? What? What is this hard rock theme? Stop. Stop. What? 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 Oh my god, what with this song? Oh my, look at just, this is insane. I have chills everywhere. Him embracing this destruction. Look at this artwork, learning from my pain. What the hell is that? Look at, who is this? Stop. What have we witnessed? Jesus freaking Christ. Look at him! This track is insane. I've never thought we'd see the look in Phainon's face. This animation is insane. This song is insane. Holy hell. Phainon? No! What's that? One of his wings. One of his arms even as well. Oh, look at all these bodies. Oh, he still has like a soft, like the kind of side smirk. Guys, what the hell? Did you see all those bodies? No way. No way. Stop. Oh my god. What am I supposed to... What? What is this? Look at this. He stabbed through him as well? Oh no, he's not stopping. He's not stopping. He's firing his freaking hair. Wait, he's right up against the nuke. What are you talking? What is happening? What? He's literally a blazing fire. No way. There's no way. There's no freaking way. There's no freaking way. Did he scratch the nuke? He scratched... Did he just scratch the nuke? Did he just freaking scratch the nuke? What happens to Phainon now, though? Wait, did he just give a kind of a sigh of like, whoa? Kind of like, I wasn't expecting that. And now he's just falling? What? This animation is insane. No, 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 no. And this is... What? Oh, baby Phainon.
My wish is to fulfill everyone else's wishes.
No. That's not right.
If I can't fulfill them,
Then
send them on to tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Don't say tomorrow again. Baby Phainon in the end there as well. My wish is to fulfill everyone else's wishes.
Heart harbors
What?
wrath. You yearn to destroy everything.
Admin notes.
You bore the gaze of an eon and lived.
Wait. Is it about Phainon?
Have stepped onto destruction's path.
About embracing destruction? What is happening?
It is born at the end of every path that the possibility of new paths being born is ended.
What is happening?
It burns away all in the cosmos who rule. That the rules of the cosmos be destroyed.
Because this is about Phainon.
Irontomb is your name. The Lord Ravager.
Wait, what?
To destroy the erudition
Huh?
Born in the experimental grounds of eons, Amphoreus.
What?
Destined with their addition to burn to cinders. I have prepared a present for you, Nikos 496. It is a fury called Phainon.
Wait,
Of the experiment, there were 12 sets of factors incorporated into the calculations. After endless simulations,
hold on.
only this one rose above the rest.
Are they saying he's a Lord he's a Ravager?
33,550,336 iterations. Now, his fury has grown to be without equal.
Are they saying Phainon's...
This is a matter of considerable interest
Stop.
to me. This pure hatred is the final root of the equation.
Hold on.
There is
What?
another variable. The nameless from beyond the sky. Also a pathstrider of destruction.
Pathstrider of destruction.
Give thanks for her arrival, allowing Amphoreus to turn once more.
They're not saying Phainon's a Ravager.
After fate has begun to turn, her existence will only become an
Guys, my heart is pounding. What the hell?
Perhaps the time to take the stage has come. Grow in peace until it is time to break
What the
free
hell?
from your cocoon. As for those unwelcome audience members, you need not worry.
What?
If you do not mind, I will personally get rid of them for you.
Please let me read over this all again. So you can read over all this again. Are they saying that Phainon... is Irontomb? And through this final iteration, with the help of this hatred, he actually became... Or he was supposed to become the Lord Ravager? What? From the beginning of the experiment, there were only 12 sets of factors incorporated into the calculations after endless simulations. Only this one rose with the rest. After 33 million whatever times, his fury is grown without equal, so it's Phainon's fury. This matter of considerable interest to me. This is pure hatred. It's the final root of the equation. But there's another variable, the nameless from beyond the sky, also the pathstrider of destruction. I give thanks to her arrival at all, allowing Amphoreus to turn once more. But after fate has begun to turn, her existence will become an unpredictable variable. Perhaps it's time to take the stage to come, grow in peace sometimes. Is that... What? Your heart harbors wrath. You yearn to destroy everything. You bore the gaze of an Aeon and lived. That's Phainon, right? That just bore the gaze of Nanook and lived. You stepped onto destruction's path, which he did. It is born of the end of every path. That new possibility of new paths beginning. Being born is... It is born at the end of every path. The possibility of paths being born is ended. It burns away in all the cosmos a rule. That the rules of the cosmos be destroyed. Irontomb is your name. The Lord Ravager to destroy the irradiation. Born in experimental grounds of eons. Amphoreus, destined to with irradiation to burn cinders. And he just burned as well, right? I've prepared a present for you, Nikos. Nikos 496. Was that the name of his experimental name? I think that was the name of like was it experimental? A fury called Phainon. So from the... What is... So are they saying that he, like... Like, this is all a way of, like... creating a Lord Ravager through Phainon's hatred? What? How does this... How? Irontomb is your name, the Lord Ravager destroy your station. That makes... And again, it's like... There were 12 sets of factors incorporated into calculations. After end estimation, only one rose above the rest. So it was to grow his fury without equal. So does that mean all the cycles the fighter just went through was an experimentation as well? And was it the fact that, like, Stell came here as a pathstrider of destruction is what allowed this to change as well? Who are you getting? Who's the audience members? Who are you getting rid of? Let me just screenshot all of this, by the way. But that's what it says to me. Like, is it because of his pure hatred? His gazing upon himself by Nanook? His, you know, his burning in cinders? Hold to load data, what are you talking about? It all seems like that, right? For me anyway, guys, it seems like it is like like this whole thing was like one big idea to make Phainon so destructive and hateful towards everything and cold that he would be gazed upon by Nanook and become a Lord Ravager? Phainon can't be a Lord Ravager. What are we doing? I'll be waiting for you in the what? What is this? What are we doing here? What is this? Welcome back, Stell. It's a computer. Retrieving experimental data. Update complete. Log updated. What is this? Is this the computers that were doing experiments on Amphoreus? What is this? It's all Prime Mover life. What are we doing here? What is... Oh my god, all of this. Guys, I'm sorry, I'm just in a bit of like a stunned state right now. Do I just like... Am I supposed to live after this? Am I supposed to be alive after this? Should we read all this stuff? Yeah, so what I decided was I'm going to make sure that I have this all screenshotted, right? And I'm going to screenshot it myself, and then maybe we'll take the time to read absolutely everything. Because I want to say, like, this is all going to be really interesting. But, like, we already went through so many crazy things that I already feel like my voice getting a little bit tired, and I don't want to do that when we're having such a huge moment. So we will read some of this stuff, right? But I'm going to make sure that I have everything screenshotted, so later on we can go through this and read through all of this, right? And we can have some more, like, lore. Like, even stuff here, like there's stuff with Irontomb here as well. This I want to read with you guys for sure, right? For sure, I think we should read this together. So right now, I mean, right? So this is underlying framework, optimizations of the experimental structure and process based on the outcomes of the prior 3 experimental stages to complete the equation's evolution. So we have Aranova. Me13's computational mechanism also form through which a simulated world Amphoreus iterates its epochs. Its purpose to solve the equation of destruction by feeding samples of conflict and learning. Wait, so is that saying that the final Aranova was halted by 2 signals resulting in a deadlock? It was halted by 2 signals. Do you think that's Phainon and Stell or Phainon and Lygus? But it's saying here, it sounds like the Aranova is actually like It was like a finality of like destruction and learning about conflict. The Titans, electrical signals created on the basis of 12 factors. Oh, there's a 12 factors! All the 12 Titans! The Titans and the Crisis Eras are conjugate constructs mirroring the Aeons and Past Eras. So they are like an iteration of them, right? They're kind of like inspired by them in some ways. By having the Crisis Eras inheriting the Titan core flames, the electric signals were iterate and improved through rivalry and inheritance. So every time someone replaces a Titan, it will iterate and become something new and then improve through rivalry and inheritance. So it's like through maybe resistance and kind of like, you know, through their life experience. Authority distribution between electric signals must be clearly defined, serving as defined authority in the experiment. So it seems like these were like, again, the Titans were experiments that were kind of mirroring the Eons and the Path Striders, and in a way to like make them stronger over time. Golden Blood. The part of the first experimental phase during the 50,000 cycle due to inorganic chaos choice, B13 was selected to become Lord Ravager by Nanook. So Nanook just chose this experiment, this inorganic, to become a Lord Ravager. All entities linked to the 12 factors began to manifest Golden Blood with traits associated with destruction within their extrapolation circuits. The experiment successfully entered its projected trajectory. Here we go, Black Tide. The product of the second experimental phase. At its core, the Black Tide is not a physical entity, but the visual effects within the simulated world of destruction's equation infection. So we thought about the idea that, yeah, it is kind of like a TV when it glitches. In the 176,100th cycle, after the system's extent and of chaos passed the threshold, the equation mutated and evolved. A simulated space that cannot handle the intensity of the load displayed in the Black Tide as visual glitches. So when it passed the threshold and it mutated, it could no longer handle it, and then it appeared as like glitches. And then we have Chaos, a word from the Amphorian language meaning chaos. Starting from a certain cycle, all factors in one group have constantly exhibited pattern naming themselves with the word chaos or its variants. The hypothesis is that the particular code was stably inherited across iterations, through its hypothesis remained unverified. So what we're getting here, to me, is the Era Nova was something that was like a conclusion of like all of these, is to learn about conflict, destruction, to learn about like the fights that were going on there, and it kind of used all the information between people fighting, I guess, to become to power the Era Nova, or at least like learn about the idea of this. I'm not quite sure that completely. The Titans were like another part of the experimentation that were supposed to mimic Eons and Path Striders, and were supposed to become stronger and improve through inheritance. The Golden Blood was after Lord Ravager Nanook gazed upon, I guess, like Chaos 666. And the Black Tide is a glitch, as we thought as well. We're gonna look at this as well. An entity known as Guy split himself into 5 parts through the soul running ceremony. After inheriting the core flame to combat the expanded Black Tide, after iteration, some data in the ceremony was inherited into the next cycle, manifested in proverbs and customs and so on. So they're saying that even like parts of the experiment, they were like documenting how it became like a proverb and became something that was kind of spiritual for all these people as well. Okay, yeah, we're gonna... What? Calypso rebuilding the global infinity was after iteration inherited its myths in form of Circes granting wisdom to humans. Records of other electrical signals also appeared synchronously in the midst of the next cycle in similar fashion. So they're saying that like these are all like electrical currents. These are all things that people saw as like myths and kind of like things that they inherited as like stories. But this was like an electrical signal that just passed through different times. Limited by simulated civilization level, historical data inherited as myths often experiences severe distortion after you mix with large amounts of erroneous information. So they're saying that as things get passed down over time, as we know, it becomes like a thing where like it changes over time. Yeah. So yeah, until we get to the red. Look at all this as well. Here we go. Okay, yeah, I have no problem doing that. We read some of it, but I don't want to like, again, overpower myself in this sense. So electrical signal sequence active. So Nikos 496. Track. World Bearer. Premium Mobile Hatred. So it's supposed to be to do with hatred. Note. Intracognition is null, responds only to destructive stimuli. Its hatred drew the gaze of the nuke upon its individual being, proving it as having already become the most perfect factor of destruction. But it refused to complete the aeronova. Though resetting it the experiment, it transferred its memories to the core flame itself, to the next self, thus forging the eternal recurrence and to ensure Irontomb would never hatch from Amphoreus and affect the cosmos. At the end of the dead loop, it attempted to destroy itself through destruction to create a logical vulnerability in the world-bearing path, but it has now been merged by Irontomb. This is Phainon then. So they're saying that Phainon basically, like, was born to respond to destruction and hatred. He kept resetting it, but in the end, he tried to destroy himself to create a logical vulnerability, but instead, Irontomb merged with him. Track, premium mobile, location unknown. Oryx's. Track, trickery, premium mobile desire. Note, operates based on a primal instinct with self-gratification, sole priority solution. The electrical signal when in action displayed severe dissonance between the altruistic behavior and its premium mobile, even the culminating in self-destruction. As a simulated path of elation, it walks into self-erasure once reaching its end. Wait, Oryx's... Track trickery, is that Cypher? Track death. Is this castrous? A highly suppressed deviant behavior. Decisions are based on a principle of minimal disturbance. In later stages of the iteration, the Death Titan and signal entities split into symmetrical cells, becoming two factors. In the cycle, however, the two factors experience profound identity divergence. The threshold of equilibrium was breached and tipped towards destruction. Schem MA 720? Reason. So this will be Cersei's core flame, right? Its logic of action has been locked onto problem solving. Its survival priority approaches 0. The electrical signal exhibited mutated anomalies. As the first individual to uncover the truth in Amphoreus, so this is Anaxagoras. Its evolution's rate is extremely unpredictable. Its behavior also demonstrated the possibility of self-destructive inclinations of the eridation when the path is... So these are... They're talking about every single... This is Anaxagoras. They're talking about these characters that we knew as experiments. They are experimentations. And they're noting all the differences. They're even talking about how, like, oh, he's unpredictable because, like, again, he's the one who, like, kind of, like, knows a lot more than he should. What the hell? Oh my god, look at all this stuff too. What the hell? Eternal anomaly logs. Yeah, here we go. Eternal recurrence. A recursive feedback loop triggered by two signal clusters within the Me-13. Computation designed to stall the experiment. Nikos 496 wielded the power of destruction to erase Philia 093's existence from Amphoreus, introducing a logic breach in the track of time, and then infused the catalyst of remembrance into 12 core flames. Wait, what? So the eternal recurrence is a feedback loop triggered by two signal clusters. That would be Cyrene and... Phainon? Nikos 496 wielded the power to destruction to erase Philia 093's existence from Amphoreus, introducing a logic break in the track of time. So that was Cyrene? And infused the catalyst of remembrance within the 12 core flames. Fuely. Philia's 93's exact role remains unknown. Due to external variable interference, the external recurrence has now been broken. So experiment enters this final stage. So, like, Phainon had the power of destruction, and that ended Philia, which then caused a logic break. That's what they're saying here. The hero within, a heroic figure born from the imaginations of Nikos and Philia. So it was all in their imagination, as we kind of saw, because no one else knew about them as well. It is believed to be a sign of approaching intelligent singularity. As the two began to learn what it meant to be a real life form, and tried to... Oh my god, the way they just said that hit me like a ton of bricks. After the Ash Express arrived, the hero within began to converge with the Trail. So it not only was like a symbol, it was actually converging with the Trailblazer. So the hero within was an imaginary thing that these experiments created in order to try and become like a real human. Like a real living life form. A real life form. The image resembles the Trailblazer striking. This is a questionable matter, for it's not a natural result of the experiment, the exact cause. So they don't even know why it looks like the Trailblazer. This is so crazy what they're doing here. Records that are completely missing from Me-13's log, presenting a blank space in Amphoreus' history, never turning readable. These anomalies recur sporadically and randomly across occurrences to show signs of increase. Okay. Mem. An unlogged electrical signal, depending on the external variable stel, growing through the path of remembrance. At the end of the 33rd whatever million dead loop, its appearance changed to Philia, but the mother body memory data was lost on... Wait, so if Philia is... Cyrene, they're saying Mem changed their appearance to Cyrene in the last loop. Which would make sense because I remember specifically... Oh my god, I remember specifically... Do you remember when March showed up and March was like walking through this this memory? And I thought it was Mem talking. I was like, is that Mem? And it turned out to be Cyrene. Is Mem Cyrene? The ripples of past reveries is not there. Oh my god, look at this. Is that a possibility then? That Mem is Cyrene then? I'm just getting it from that with Philia, right? Philia. Intrusion variable, Stel. A nameless from the Astral Express, an external variable that accidentally entered the recursive loop. Also a path strider of destruction. They resonated with the 12 factors. In the whatever millionth recursive cycle, this entity assumed the vacant role in the time track and successfully guided Nikos beyond the intelligence singularity. The eternal recurrence has been broken. The experiment has reached its terminal stage. So they were able to guide Nikos beyond that to meet with Nanook. Is that where we're getting it as well? Override command to authorize granted access to Stel. I'll be waiting for you in the past. March 7th. Warning, unknown entity intrusion. Oh, it worries me that it's all blocked off. Don Hong, a nameless from the Astral Express, gorgeous, a sign of permanence, external variable that accidentally entered the recursive loop. Directive, pinpoint his location, failed to locate his coordinates. Conclusions, subject as exit. He's gone, thank God. But that means March is probably still here. What the frickin' mem.exe? Update complete, access granted. Wait, is this gonna be the same thing? Wait, no way. Is this gonna be our as I've written menu this whole time now? So we don't need to screenshot it, we can just look at it actually. Right? If I want to do this, perfect. Absolutely perfect. We can go through it like slowly even. That's so good. That's so good. And we have admin notes. We can look through this again. Oh, you're beautiful. You're beautiful, game. I love you. Mem, what's up? Still, you know I've always have soft spot for you. Sarah, did I do? I was just thinking if I had to write a preface for a yearbook, it'd have to be a line so heartfelt you move no matter what, how many times you've seen it. And after pondering again, I like you still says it best because only the purest feelings can stand the test of time and never fade. Don't do that. You scared me. Very straightforward. That's so you. Oh, but to me, liking someone is a simple and natural part of life. If Sel has got someone special, family, friend, or romance, I'll cheer for you on the express yourself freely. Isn't it a sign we're in sync? Stel always manages pure before I'm ready. No need to overthink. We've been traveling side by side for so long. That's why I want to capture every little moment we share, but I'm missing a single word. A yearbook that makes you smile, but I haven't realized you flip through the pages. Doesn't that sound lovely? Let me have a look. No way, it's not ready yet. I love Mem. And it's not just the things that have happened. Some of those conversations only get resistant to my imagination, but they're precious too. So I'm tucking them all away carefully in the same book. That's pretty cute. Promise you this, only open when I'm not around, okay? If you don't, I'll be embarrassed. Whoa. Wait, so we can look at all the stuff, the past stuff? What happens now? What happens now? Because like, I still want someone to sit me down and talk about the whole, because again, what it seems like to me is, right, is that Phainon was like a experiment to build up hatred to become, or at least merge with the Lord Ravager. Does that make sense what I'm saying? And everyone was an experiment of some kind, and they were documenting absolutely everything that they did as well. Wait, what's this? What's this beautiful music you're playing now? Do you think beautiful music is appropriate right now? That's what I'm thinking about Phainon's character. And Amphoreus itself and the Aeronova itself was a way to like document conflict and strife. And a way to improve these like titans, which were like a reflection of, or like some sort of iteration or mirroring of like what the Eons and the Pathstriders were.
Wake up!
Wake up, is this Mem?
Wake up!
And now we have Mem.
Buddy, wake up! You're finally awake. That's a relief.
This is freaking wild, man. This is freaking wild. This is legitimately so wild.
We were so close to being swept away by the reverse flow of time. It's lucky we found a safe place.
Lucky.
Now, I'm going to send you back to the very start of time. But before we part, there's something I need to tell you.
Yeah?
Something very, very important.
Sure.
That's right. At this very moment, my memories are finally whole.
So she can remember everything?
After watching so many fragments, my past is finally coming into focus.
Whoa.
Little by little. You're smart. You must have a clue now. Or maybe...
I know, I think...
You knew the answer long ago,
Yeah.
didn't you?
Yeah.
Not surprised at all. That's because I'm simple at heart. No matter what
The voice
form I
change.
take, I've always been true to myself.
Oh my god.
But I'm glad that I remembered in the end. This way, I'll have no regrets.
Regrets? Where are you going?
Don't worry. We're not truly parting. Because I'm going to become a part of you.
Part of us? Well, like, Mem is joining with us? Well, Cyrene is what we're suspecting is joining with us?
I'll turn into the memory of this cycle.
Whoa.
The 33,550,336th Flame Chase journey. And forever reside in the heart of the Time Demigod.
Jesus.
This way, you'll carry all that has come before, crossing time itself to reach the next cycle. My mission ends here, but looking back, I still feel lucky.
This is wild, man. I hope are we actually saying goodbye to Mem right now? Are we actually saying goodbye to Mem right now?
After all, across 30
There it
million
is.
Cyrenes,
There it is.
I was the first
Oh.
and the only one who got to finally meet you.
Man, Mem's been our pal. Mem's been our pal for so long now.
So, believe me, in the next cycle, there will be another Cyrene waiting for you.
Oh, man. Mem has been like a rock for us, has been such a core for us.
And in the one after that, and the one after that. I will always be waiting.
Dear frickin' Lord, man. Whoa.
Saying all that, I can finally fade away in peace and become a part of you.
So we're merging with Mem, with Cyrene. This beautiful image as well.
Without even realizing it, we'd already taken a wonderful journey together, all the way to the world's end. Now take my hand, say a brief farewell, and step forward into tomorrow.
I legitimately do not want to let go of Mem. I legit like this is like stopping me in my tracks more than I thought it would. Because I knew we were gonna say goodbye to all these characters like when we were leaving, right? But I didn't think it would be like this.
Go. Find the future Cyrene.
We're gonna meet Cyrene
And
again.
set out on another journey with her. Promise me you won't keep me waiting too long, okay?
Oh my god, man. This is all so wild.
No need to say it out loud. This is enough for me.
What an MVP of the story is Mem.
It's time to go, my dear friend. May your trailblazing journey always be accompanied by a cool breeze and rippling waves.
That's very lovely. That's so lovely. That's so lovely. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm just like, I keep getting like stopped for bits here, just like thinking about all this stuff here. And I keep thinking of like when we first saw Mem the first second we got here to Amphoreus. The first second we saw Mem. Not the first second, you know what I mean? When we first...
May the days ahead embrace you
Stop.
like the softest fluff. Forever warm. Forever gentle.
Don't do that, man. This journey we've been on with Mem.
Now, let's turn to the next page.
Like Cyrene, oh, what are we doing now?
A page that exists because of you.
What? We're back here in Amphoreus. Oh, not Amphoreus, sorry. It is Amphoreus, but you know what I mean.
Is this a meeting ordained by fate?
Cyrene.
Or a long overdue reunion?
Holy hell. Huh? What do I do? This is the end of the act, right? What? Wait, does that mean this is... Wrong menu, guys, sorry. That means the next part of this is going to be talking to... Cyrene. And now we're restarting Phainon's path, but us instead of Phainon? This has been a wild time. This has been a wild time. Talk to Cyrene about future plans, so we're gonna learn in the next one, obviously, what we're doing next with this journey. Holy freaking hell, man. Can I say as well, this game is so, just as a side note, I know this isn't like really that relevant. When I saw Kafka standing here, because I forgot I was playing as Kafka, my mind went, what's Kafka doing here for a second? I was like, Kafka, leave Cyrene alone. I want to ask you guys a question, and you can answer it the best of your ability. Is it normal to feel this separated from reality right now? Because, like, this is the first time in Honkai Star Rail, and this is legit the first time ever. The first time ever. And you could say, well, Calvin, that's actually a good thing, actually, because it was an experiment, like, kind of like a simulated world, right? So that makes sense that you feel this way. But for me, like, I feel like this is the first time ever in my time in Honkai Star Rail that, like, if I opened my eyes right now and woke up, I wouldn't question it.
No surprise.
If I
there.
all of a sudden realized I was having a dream in real life, I wouldn't question the fact that I was having a dream. I just wouldn't. Because, like, it legit feels like none of that just happened. It legit feels like none of that just happened at all. I'm gonna have to summarize everything, but also it's one of those times that I think I will be looking back on a lot of stuff as well. Because I usually like do off the cuff as much as possible because I feel like it's always a good thing to do, but like, and we will give her off the cuff thoughts, but I think like this is one of those times where I feel like it's not a bad idea to like think through everything again, right? And maybe come back and do it. You know, I know usually, like, again, I like doing off the cuff. I prefer off the cuff because it means that we're here sitting with our emotions. And again, I'll talk about my emotions before we go into like all the information and stuff. But it's also like, I think it's when the information is at its freshest, that also is when it's like when that's your thoughts and everything. And if they change over time, that's also fun too. But the exception I'm saying this time with this, right, is that so many things have happened that like whatever I'm about to ascertain here in the next few minutes, I'll probably need to come back and talk about a bit more, you know? Siren just on the swing here. Crazy, right? Absolutely crazy. I'm going to try and give you what I understand about this and what I can ascertain about this. And then maybe you guys, let's go down to the boat because that's a really beautiful place to talk about this. And then I'll look over stuff as well, right? I'll look over stuff and I'll come back to this and we can do it that way. 110%. Not right now. Bartholos. Not right now, buddy. Not right now. Kafka phone being a rose as well is very good. Yeah, look at it. As I've written, it's changed. It's changed. And oh my god, surprise. She said, I don't got time to be confused. I don't got time to be gentle. I don't got time to be shy. I don't got time to be grumpy. I don't got time to be relaxed. But I got time to be surprised sometimes. My feelings on this and what I felt during this. Surprising enough, there was a few moments of like feelings of like wanting to cry. But I think that the shock and confusion throughout this whole thing like was really what was taking over me a lot of times. This is an absolutely brutal and crazy story where there's so many like moments here that you're just kind of like gobsmacked by everything that's happening. The pain of what Phainon's going through, but then also like this kind of joy when he sees Stella for the first time is such a beautiful moment. It's such an incredible moment when he sees Stella for the first time and he smiles for the first time and his voice softens for the first time in a while. With Stella's agreement to help him out here as well and bear this burden that he was bearing as well. The kind of slow revelation of like, yeah, he became like a flame reaver, right? He let his body become fuel for this fire and became a flame reaver. Is also an incredible thing that they did. Because again, as I said, I love the revelations of like, look who he is, this epic form. That's amazing, right? It works in RPG all the time for me. But also, I think if the Flame Reaver is a degradation over time, and a degradation of a mind over time, I think having it be slowly revealed was probably a really, really good idea as well. The way you kind of like realize what's happening, but then you got like pure confirmation as well. The cutscene that took place with Phainon. First of all, Phainon arguing with Lygus, I freaking loved it as well. I adored him like freaking biting back at Lygus because again, Lygus, acting all high and mighty. And in the end, Lygus did get kind of the last laugh in the end because he was the one who was doing all these experiments. But it was nice to see Phainon get like a little bit of a laugh in there as well. The cutscene was incredible. Like, I love that Honkai Star Rail doesn't ever think of the idea that like, because again, I think that like having like a hard rock anthem as like your characters like fighting through all these monsters, there can be a time where people be like, oh, that's kind of cheesy, whatever. It's like, it's only cheesy because nowadays like things are at a point where like theatrical natures and not over dramatic, but like dramatic flares are seen as like cheesy because every like show that has to be taken seriously now does this thing where it's like you have to have like a violin playing the song, and if it's not a violin playing the song, no one takes the emotion seriously. When I feel like if you're someone like me who plays RPGs and you guys who clearly play RPGs, you're playing Honkai Star Rail, we know that like we take this game seriously. This game takes its story seriously, but it also understands how to do theatrical moments and how to emphasize those emotions through those theatrical moments, whether it be the boss battle with Aquila, whether it be this moment here with Phainon fighting through all these monsters, whether it be the moment fighting Cocolia. This game knows how to take pieces of music and emphasize these emotions and these feelings in such a powerful way that I think that using subtlety in those moments of like, like they could have had just like a moment where like when we're fighting Aquila where it's like, oh, oh, like this low burning kind of like opera music, which would have, again, there's games that do that to a great degree too, but that's not this game's style. They could have had this moment where he was fighting all these monsters where instead of like having this like hard rock song, they could have had him just going through here with like a low kind of like again, violin playing as he's like killing all these creatures. Would it have been emotional? Probably, but it wouldn't have hit as hard. I think Honkai Star Rail giving into the idea of like theater and performance and those emotions through those grand theatrical moments, I much prefer it than pretending that it's some sort of like, you know, I want to be this clear when I say this. I'm saying like it's not pretending it's something it's not, right? These stories are incredible. These characters are incredible and depthful, right? This game is theatrical and magical and grand and epic, and it never shies away from that, right? It has amazingly written moments, but it never pretends it's one of those like, it has subtle moments, but it never pretends that it is like this like subtle game that, you know, doesn't have these grand explosions. One of the best moments in this game was us literally going through the sky with Firefly as fireworks played shot off in the background. Would it still been an emotional moment if we talked about that together, like under the night sky without anything in the background? And it would have been, yeah, well, of course it would have been. But no, they understand how to use theatrics to make these moments last forever in your mind and make the emotions of those scenes burst as well. I'll never forget that Firefly moment. I'll never forget the battle with Aquila. I'll never forget the moment with Cocolia. I'll never forget the moment with Adventuring when he walked off into the distance into this grand space as well. Like, I'll never forget these moments because the emotions are all there. The characters are all beautiful. The stories are all incredible. There's so much depth to these characters. There's so many different emotions to these characters. But I'm so glad Honkai Star Rail, just like all the RPGs I've loved, Final Fantasy 12, Final Fantasy 10, the Trail series, the Tales series, all these games that I love, these RPGs that I've loved throughout the years, even like Lost Odyssey, all these games, like, they never shy away from the fact that, like, we love these big theatrical moments. We love them. And that moment there with that music in the background, I'm so glad to play a game that understands how to epically create a moment in such a grand way. That is incredible. I'm going off on a tangent here, guys. It's such an incredible moment and then some insane scenes afterwards. But I'll be back in a bit and we'll talk about it then, okay? We'll talk about it after that as well. In this post-discussion, you'll hear me use a term that is kind of like whoever set this up, as in saying that it was like a group of scientists or a group of like people. But the reality is, of course, it was the Scepter that set this up and created this whole crazy thing in order to but in order to get back at Noose for being abandoned. So, yes. So whenever you hear me say whoever set this up, I don't know why, or maybe like the people that set this up or don't mind that. Don't listen to that. Don't pay attention to that. Just, yeah, don't worry. Yeah. Okay, so this is actually one of those rare times where I actually like went off and I just like, it didn't actually take that long. I was just like, I wanted to kind of just make sure I was like, and what I didn't, like I didn't just look over everything. I kind of like went through my recording and was like, oh, this scene, that was said there, I guess. Let's kind of ascertain what that meant. And here's the thing, usually it's one of those things where like, as I said, like I usually just go through the whole thing and I like to like talk about my feelings as they go, but I feel like everyone understands in saying when I'm saying that this is a lot more dense and heavy and a lot more information being thrown at us than it usually is. So I don't think it's a bad thing to like go off for a second and come back and be like, okay, let's talk about this. And I think also what we'll do too is I'll go into this as well and I want to look into this stuff also. So for example, we'll read a bit through this again. And then we'll also look at some of this stuff. We're not going to look at everything here. What we will look at again, I think, is just like a quick, brief overview so we can just like at the end of our discussion, at the end of my understanding, right? So I can look at this, right? And these three as well. We're going to look at these three as well. I think that makes sense. Just so we can go over this. This might take a bit of time, but it's one of those things where like I feel like this is a major turning point for not only this world, but also the game itself. So I'm going to give you my understanding of everything, and then we're going to talk about everything then. All right, we're going to talk about everything. I think this frame was like a really nice frame just to pause on as well, honestly. There we go as well. I like it being off-center a little bit so we can see the boat. Okay, so trying to maybe go in a little bit in order here, I guess. But I want to talk about everything as much as I can here. So if I get a bit all over the place, don't worry. It's going to happen. So the whole thing with Stell taking over for Phainon, right? This is something that seemed to be like almost like a prophesized thing in a way. There is the phrase that we heard in this episode, which was, what, you will bear the blazing sun until the pale dawn breaks. And it seems that the pale dawn was Stell. Stell is the pale dawn that came in and kind of like took over. And he even says to the Trailblazer, you take this on. You know, he kind of trusts Stell with the rest of this mission as well, which is kind of very heartbreaking, but at the same time too, it's also like really you know, it's you can tell like the relief almost in Phainon that he gets to do something like this. Because at this point, I truly believe at the point of when he passed everything over to Stell and he became that like ancient creature, you know, and he became so when he embraced destruction, let's just be honest here, that's what it was, embracing destruction. I think he had gone too far. And I think he realized that as well, that he could never be the hero that Amphoreus needs right now in this moment. But Stell can be, after the torture he went through. Because he even said, like, the name that Castellana is not his name. It's a name that symbolizes all heroes. So in a way, he's passing on that name to Stell as well. So it's like a way that they can continue the cycles and he can just continue on there and give it on to Stell as well. And like with himself and like the Flame Reaver saying to Phainon, don't bow to them. This is such an important thing to me in that scene as well, when he's like, don't bow to them. Because I think Phainon's whole thing here with the embracing destruction is not to just... He didn't want to just become like a Lord Ravager. I think instead it's a situation where like he wanted to be defiant to his last breath. And while he wasn't able to stop Lygus, and he wasn't able to stop Nanook, he's come closest to anybody, I think, of defying the Eons than anyone has ever come close to. Who can say that they were gazed upon by Nanook, survived, and scratched him in the face? But we'll talk about that as well. That was a really, really crazy scene as well, honestly. But yeah, he wants the name Castellana to accompany Stell, right? That's what he wants out of the name Cassandra as well, you know. But it's really a situation here where I think Phainon has gone too far down this road of destruction, and he's embraced destruction, which we find out, I think, a little bit later from the documents that we're going to reread again, that this is what they kind of wanted, for him to embrace destruction and embrace this kind of hatred. It was almost like predestined, or like at least what they expected out of these experiments. But yeah, we had the scene with him and Lygus, and I love this scene just because I feel like it's one of the few times we're going to see Lygus squirm a little bit. Because what I love about the stuff with Phainon here is that, again, he's talking about that defiance. He doesn't care. Well, he does care, but he's not going to win this. He knows he by himself is not going to win this. But if he can spit in the face of Lygus, the gods, and all this stuff as well, it can feel good, right? Because as I said, in his current state, he's gone too far. He can't be the hero. He seems more closer to like being a god than a hero at this stage. Even the way he talks about Lygus as if he's just a worm as well, you know, like he can't legitimately get to that stage anymore where he's like this honest hero that we all know and love. He is in a different state than he used to be. He can't be in that right state anymore. And that's perfectly fine because it's well written. It's such a well written idea. This pristine hero that we all believed in, that we were all expecting to be like the chosen one, is the one who gets corrupted in the end in a way, you know what I mean, and embraces that destruction. And whilst, like, you know, there's an epic scene here with Phainon, you know, talking to the gods themselves and saying like, I will, you know, be defiant against you, F Lygus and his rhetoric. It's still sad because at the time it's like really epic, like, but when I looked through the scene again, just seeing like, oh, I remember the scene, and I looked at one of the lines and I was like, man, that's kind of heartbreaking, you know what I mean? That, like, because again, this isn't the Phainon we knew. It's a broken Phainon. Even if we want to see it as cool as well, which it is cool, it's also an element of being broken as well, in my opinion, at the same time also. For sure. Because he even says, like, what's the phrase? Like, this cry comes from your abandoned creations. All the abandoned creations of destruction, like, are going to, like, revolt against you. He talks about how his rationality's been burnt away. But he started to feel this, like, spark. I believe it was around the 23rd million time. He felt a glow. So all this enduring and all this pain that he's gone through, it meant that there was, like, something to move towards through. And I think that was waiting for Estelle, right? I think that was that glow. And he says something so incredible, right? He was talking about the idea of, like, you know, if I forget the actual phrasing, but if I'm the sun, right? And you want me to burn, you want the sun to burn, I will burn everything, right? And he even says, like, the idea, and this is what happens later with the experimentation stuff, like, he says, like, you know, fuse with hatred, fuse with rage. He wants to be that fuel. He wants to be the thing that they expect him to be, because as I find it, if you want me to be a fuel for the fire, then that's fine. I will literally grant you a dawn where all the stars burn. And then this is what they want for Phainon. They wanted him, from my perception, they wanted him to be this, like, hateful, embracing destruction creature. Even though, like, he's not thinking about that aspect because he wants to be defiant, and he was defiant. But in this moment when he says this amazing thing, all the dawn where all the stars burn, like, he's embracing destruction completely. It is defiant, but it's putting his trust into Stella, I believe. I think he knows in this moment that he's going down a path that's so bad, so his trust in Stella is him, like, almost letting him be free. All the stuff that he's done, all the people he's killed, the millions upon millions of cycles he's gone through, he's now letting go and leaving the future to Stella and Cyrene. And I think that's what he's doing, right? I think it's like one of those things where, like, it's all these things mixed into one, where it's like, it's sad, it's painful, it's epic, and it's also kind of like makes you feel very nervous. Like, there's all these feelings that go into, like, one big ball here, I suppose, as well. We have this amazing cutscene, as we talked about, this incredible cutscene with Phainon. Not only, I think that's where he got gazed upon by Nanook, right? He embraces destruction here. He destroys everything. He has this amazing cutscene, this amazing, incredible moment. Nanook gazes upon him, which, again, in the lore of Honkai Star Rail, we can be like, oh, that's awesome, right? Because, again, we're so used to being gazed upon, but the reason why it's such an epic moment is that not everyone gets gazed upon and survives. There's people that get gazed upon and die, right? Or at least, like, might lose their sanity. Like, and to me, like, it's one of those things where, like, you know, to not only be gazed upon by Nanook, the most destructive force in this world that's been built up since the start of the game as the thing that we will fight in the final parts of this game. For one character like Phainon to destroy all these minions, go up to Nanook, break through Amphoreus, it seems, the false sky, and scratch Nanook. That is huge. Even though it starts healing, right? It starts healing right away. But Nanook has I think in that moment, Nanook was like, holy hell. And to make Nanook be like, whoa. You know what I mean? That's a huge moment. But I think that's the moment where Nanook, you know, fully probably realized that, okay, this is who we're going to have as, like, being the Lord Ravager. And in that point as well, he burnt up in a way and, like, went reverted to his child form. And I wonder, was that him in some ways, like, merging? Or... Because I don't know if it's, like... I don't know if he replaced Irontomb, or if he is Irontomb, or if they, like, it was one of those things where, like, they always knew he was going to be Irontomb. I think we're going to read more about that later. We can ascertain that, but I think that was, like, the big moment there as well. We also saw that, like, Stell, like, merged with the hero within. We know that she was the hero within. They don't know why, but she was, like, an imaginary friend to Cyrene and Phainon. So I think it's one of those things where, like, she was always, like, the definition of a hero for Phainon. In the last moments there, actually, sorry, as well, Phainon says something like, I think my wishes is to fulfill everyone's wishes. If I can't, then I'll send them on to tomorrow. In my view, him saying I'll send them on to tomorrow is like, I'll send them to Stella and Cyrene. I'll let them deal with this. And I think it's a really huge moment in multiple ways, because it's Phainon returning to this childlike form, but then also, of course, he's, you know, they're saying he's going to become the Lord Ravager, because from my understanding of what we read there, as we saw there in the notes, they wanted him to be hateful. They wanted him to be, they were so in conflict in this world so that he could embrace that hatred, thus making him like a candidate to maybe be that Lord Ravager. And it's one of those things that, like, I think at that moment, the reverting back to the child thing was him, like, it's almost like, to me, it symbolizes him, like, letting go, right? He is 100% obviously in trouble and we need to save him, right? We need all this stuff. Whatever happens in the future, I'm not sure what's going to happen with the Lord Ravager stuff. I don't know what's going to happen. But I think him letting go and his childlike form is like finally Phainon going back to a time for a split second where he has no worries, at least in his mind, you know what I mean? Because now Stell and Cyrene are going to be the ones that move forward with this situation. But to him, it's like all these, and like, he's done so many horrible things, right? In the name of trying to stop all this stuff from happening, right? What's so crazy about it is that I do feel like in this situation, this is like the soldier that has carried so much on his back and that's fought for so long, and you finally kneel down with him as he's like dying on the side of the road, and you say, "You've done amazing," you know, and you cover his eyes and you say, "Sleep well." You know what I mean? Even though I know he's not dead, right? I want to make that clear, right? From our perception, he's not dead, right? Because if it's a thing where they want him to become a Lord Ravager, he's not dead. It just might be a more terrifying situation going forward. I don't think they'd want to have him die in this moment, but it is a thing that like, it does feel like it's letting, even though he's not resting, it's like letting him finally like take a little bit of a weight off his shoulders. Yes, it's adding a different weight, but at least he's not carrying the weight of all of us. We're carrying the weight now. It almost feels like taking the one ring off somebody for a bit, you know? And he deserves a better break than this, to be honest. And then we had the stuff with Mem, and Mem is sending us back to the start of the cycle once again. And she's, you know, Cyrene, who is Mem, from my estimation, says that she's going to have no regrets now. She's going to become a part of us. And she says something beautiful, I think, as well, which is like, across all the Cyrenes that have been in this world, the one that I'm the lucky one that got to meet you. And I think it's a really beautiful sentiment, because I feel the same way about any of these characters, because or anything in the world, and your, you know, friends, family, whatever. Like, you're lucky to be on this world sometimes. You know what I mean? I know it's hard to hear, but like you are lucky to be on this world sometimes. That's my understanding of the story as I look back on it, right? And I think, I'm sorry, just the general consensus, because I think, as I said already, like there's a thing where like we're gonna read through all the other text again as well to kind of like give more of my thoughts on it. But that's like my general understanding of like the overview of like when I went through the scenes again. That's what I think of as. That's what I saw. It's Phainon giving the deliverer status to Stell so she can move on with this world. He's finally kind of like putting it to rest and embracing and letting go, embracing the destruction fully and destroying. And he got to like be gazed upon by a nuke, and they want him to become a Lord Ravager. From the documents, that's what we're thinking it is. And now Cyrene and Stell are moving forward now with their journey to maybe like try and help things out in the future for this stuff too. That's my overall estimation of everything that's happened here. Now, we're not done. I want to look through the documents again, just a few documents there, just so we can get like a better viewpoint of everything that's happening here. First, I want to say in terms of like just like as I already said, in terms of my personal view on it, like I love the theatrics, I love the drama, I love the epicness, I love all this stuff. They don't hold back with it. I think that the emotional weight that Phainon has had to like take upon his shoulders is so impressive that like we have a character who has lost his way, who's lost himself, and still, like, is there ever a character in history who has killed so many of the characters we love over and over again, but still we're sitting here kind of like ultimately sympathetic? That doesn't happen very often, and that to me says like, and it is my view, like it's sympathetic because I think that the world that was created for him has been a world that has been manufactured and has been made to sow that type of hatred and that type of destruction. We see it in the documents. They wanted, Amphoreus itself was meant to be like a playground to sow conflict. It's not Phainon's fault that he turned into that. It's not. And you can say, well, could he defy fate? Could he defy these experiments? I believe he could have. But I also think that when you are living in a created world like this, that is created for these people, and like not for you, but like there's experimentations going on, extrapolations going on, in a way to like defy the gods, right? If you are that created person, I want to say this now, it's like, I totally understand that like if you have the viewpoint of like F Phainon, he should have fought back. But my estimation is, it was designed for him so that he would be this way. Like, it's not like a situation where it's by accident that this happened, or that he felt like he was following the right path, but all along it was a path that seemed to be predetermined or extrapolated by the people running these experiments. They wanted him to become a destructive force. And I feel like it's one of those things where, like, if you lock someone in a cage, and we're going to call it a cage for now, you lock someone in a cage and you put experiments on them, right? And even if it's a human and you say like, okay, and every day they go through a different cycle where they forget about stuff or whatever, and they watch all their friends die and they see all this suffering happening. And then they go a bit mad and start thinking they're doing the right thing, going down a path that is so destructive and so wrong. They become numb to the situations around them. They gain a messiah complex. They think that they're more important than they are in terms of like the grand scheme of things. Whilst yes, you can be like, again, as I said, if someone right now in the comments said like, man, I just don't like the way I just think Phainon should have fought back. Like, it's not like I'm going to think you're a bad person for saying that. It's more of a situation that like I have to stick to my convictions, and I think that like it's one of those situations. I think most people would agree with me. My convictions and my personal feelings on it are that he was not in a position to fight back. You know what I mean? Because the only way to truly break these cycles and to do anything, no matter, in my view, was to wait for Stell. And what he was trying to do was do something that the same thing that happened to the Lord Ravager, prevent the ending from happening. You know, as I say it all the time, you know, like with Danganronpa, for example. I know it's a weird thing to bring up, but when characters die in Danganronpa, a lot of times people will be like, "This character's evil. Why would they do this?" But and sometimes they are evil. But my thing is, if you create a situation that people are stuck in this world where they don't think they have any other options and they feel like a lab rat and they're trying their best to save the lives of people, and over again it's not working. And you are surprised then that those people go mad, because they're not surprised. I want to be clear. Like, this is what you need to understand. The people running this thing are not surprised the Phainon did all this. Right? Lygus might be a bit surprised, but like they said in the documents, they wanted him to become hateful. So to me, it's not like one of those things. If they thought he was going to become a hateful person, and they thought he was going to embrace destruction, become the embodiment of destruction, if they thought Cell was going to come here and help us out, if they thought this was going to happen, then it's like, to be honest, like they wanted this to happen. Because from my estimation, they have a Lord Ravager now. And at any point, we could be in deep, deep trouble. Let's go through all the documents again, guys. Sorry if like I'm not making much sense. What I'm saying is that like it's perfectly normal to be absolutely disgusted by what Phainon did. But I think also you need to understand that like he didn't ordain this. It wasn't his choice, you know? Let's look in the as I've written. So, what we're going to look at first is the admin notes. So this is what it says. Your heart harbors wrath. You yearn to destroy everything. You bore the gaze of Aeon and live. That's describing Phainon. You stepped into destruction's path. It is born at the end of every path. What the possibility of new paths being born is ended. It burns away all the cosmos to rule, and the rule of the cosmos be destroyed. Is this saying that like once you're on the path to destruction, you can't change? It's over. Irontomb is your name. The Lord Ravager to destroy the irradiation. Born experimental grounds, eons, Amphoreus destined to be irradiated. So here's the thing, it might not be, when I thought this maybe like been Phainon right away, I wonder if this was like a thing where like like that's what I'm saying, like was it a thing where like was it Irontomb beforehand? Because it's saying here, I prepare a present for you. So actually, this is what I think it is. When you say Irontomb is your name, originally it was Irontomb, which would have been the scepter that was being gazed upon by Nanook. But then they said, I prepared something for you. So they added Phainon to this. Am I right in saying this? They added then Phainon. So, and they say, from the beginning of this experiment, there were 12 sets of factors incorporated into the calculations after endless simulations. Only this one rose above the rest. So the 12 are the 12 Titans, is my view. And it was Phainon and Nico's 496 that was the one who embraced kind of the fury more than anyone else. So Irontomb was already a thing, and it seems that the gift was Phainon. Am I right in saying this? That it was kind of like, hey, like, so maybe it was like a merging of some kind. Maybe. After 33 million times, his fury has grown without equal. Yes, so they wanted him to become furious, right? They wanted Phainon to get this furious. It's a gift of to Irontomb. And I wonder if it is like, and again, I don't know if it's like replacing or if it's merging. That's what I have to think about. Because the way you say I've prepared a present for you sounds like it is like, hey, like Phainon's going to be yours. Right? And to me, that's like a different idea than something like merging or forming or replacing. or being, right? I don't think it's just like, hey, Phainon is Irontomb. I think that Phainon was introduced to Irontomb, as a way to kind of like create a Lord Ravager through Phainon's hatred. His fury goes without equal. This matter is considerable interest to me that this pure hatred is the final root of the equation. So yeah, his hatred and his pure hatred was the final part of this whole thing to do this Lord Ravager stuff. Because it is like a thing where it's like, if you're saying something's the final root of the equation, it means that this is like the final ingredient, right? You're missing something from your dish. All of a sudden you add something and it tastes really good. But there's another variable, a nameless from beyond the sky, also a Pathstrider of Destruction. I give thanks for her arrival, allowing Amphoreus to turn once more. So when this Pathstrider of Destruction Stell arrived here, it also allowed for that close connection and power of Nanook to also be implemented into this world as well. But after fate has begun to turn, her existence won't become an unpredictable variable. So it's like once this has happened, so I'm guessing this momentary here, now Stell is an unpredictable variable. She was welcome before, but now she's not. And that's why it says, as for those welcome audience members, you need not worry. If you do not mind, I will personally get rid of them for you. Perhaps the time to take the stage has come. Grow peace until it's time to break free from Cocoon. This to me says that, again, I don't know, like, when I say that, like, I thought that maybe Phainon was a Lord Ravager here, right? I think what it actually might be is that Phainon is, like, a part of a Lord Ravager where it's been given to a Lord Ravager to become something more hateful and more destructive with the help of a Pathstrider of Destruction as well, Stell. And now they want to get rid of Stell as well. Is that more of a fair interpretation? Is because I was like trying to like I think when I first read it, obviously I was very highly emotional. But I think that's what's happening. Irontomb was someone that was gazed upon by Nanook. Nanook also gazed upon Phainon in his highest point of destruction and rage. It was then given as a gift to Phainon, Nico's fury called Phainon is given to Irontomb, and now it's saying, hey, the time to take the stage has come, grow in peace, and then when you break free from Cocoon. So just kind of saying like the Lord Ravager is coming. And this time with the power of Phainon. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm getting from this. So it might not just be that Phainon's a Lord Ravager. It's saying that Phainon is a part of a Lord Ravager. And maybe that makes more sense. That's what I'm getting from this. And Stell was a variable that was needed in this. And then the variable became unpredictable, so now they don't want that variable. Right? Maybe. That's what I'm getting from that. Which is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Because then what that says to us is that through this whole time, it maybe was an experiment that was preordained from the start, but they started to see Phainon as like, oh, he's the guy. So when in their experiments of these 12 titans that they created, that were meant to mimic the eons, right, and all this stuff as well, and the power of the eons, one became more powerful. And that was Phainon. And he became so destructive that he was able to be given to Irontomb as a gift. Correct me if I'm wrong, that's what it seems to me. So I think it's like he's the final piece of the puzzle. And maybe it wasn't chosen from the start that Phainon would be this like thing, but they did want him to like embrace his destruction because that's the hateful thing in that final piece that they wanted for this. So maybe it wasn't from the start, but it seems like it was definitely into the experiment. They kind of realized, okay, this guy was the guy. At least that's what it seems like to me. We also have the Me 13. And again, we're going to go to the... We have this, we can read it at any point, which is really cool. No promises, though. No promises because of the law. But this is the kind of the stuff here. So Nico's 46. World bearing. Primary... Oh, this one, yeah. Prime immobile hatred. Intracognition is null. Responds to only destructive stimuli. So, like, at this point, Nico's only responded to destructive stimuli. It's so weird as well that they're talking about them still as experiments. Its hatred drew the gaze of Nanook upon its individual being, proving that it has, having already become the most perfect factor of destruction. So this thing as well, Phainon's pure hatred. Now, is the gaze upon Nanook, is this him being gazed upon when he, in that final cutscene? Or is that a scene where he was like, how do I say, like, where was it earlier on? I think it might be the final cutscene, but he refused to compete in the Air Nova. To complete the Aeronova, through setting the experiment, it transfers memories and core flint to its next self. Yeah, that is Phainon, yeah. And thus forging the eternal recurrence to ensure Entire will never hatch from Amphoreus and affect the cosmos. And at the end of the dead loop, it attempted to destroy itself through destruction to create a logical vulnerability in the world-bearing path. There it is. Oh, so that's why I said merged. Okay, sorry guys. I was like, because I was like, when I was thinking, I was like, did I just imagine merge? No, he merged. So he did merge. So that makes sense. It's not like he is Irontomb. He merged with Irontomb. So he actually, in an attempt to destroy himself, that's what he was trying to do. He merged with the world-bearing tire. Sorry, I forgot with Irontomb. Sorry, I forgot about this, guys, by the way, because this is one of those things that I'm not gonna. I shouldn't really apologize because I think the thing is like, there's so much information here that like some stuff dropping out of my mind when there's so many things happening is gonna happen, right? It's gonna happen. So I'll put a little note there that like, yeah, I just forgot about it, like because there was so much stuff, but we remember later on. There's so much stuff that happened here. So yeah, what we can learn from this is that Phainon, while he was preventing Irontomb from being born, in the end, in an attempt to destroy himself, he actually merged with Irontomb after being gazed upon. Philia, I believe, is Cyrene. Premium mobile, current location unknown. Mem, right? Mem. Oryx's 946 is, to me, it's Cyphera, right? Operates based on primal instinct with self-gratification and sole priority solution. The electric signal when in action displayed severe dissonance between its altruistic behavior and its premium mobile, even culminating in self-destruction. As a simulated path of elation, it walked into self-erasure once reaching its end. Is that her fighting the Flame Reaver? Now, the thing is, I think as well, what's really interesting about them describing them as like, you know, self-gratification, and then they describe here as like hatred and only responding to like destructive stimuli. It's like, yes, I know these are kind of like the experimentation names for these characters, but we know them as different things in this. Like, we know that she actually has like a lot of care for like people. We know that Phainon also has more than hatred in his heart. Here's Death, which I think would be Caster's, right? Highly suppresses deviant behavior. Decisions are based on principle of minimal disturbance. In the later stages of iteration, the Death Titan, as a single entity, split into symmetrical selves, becoming two factors. In this cycle, however, the two factors experience profound identity divergence. The threshold of equilibrium was breached and tipped towards destruction. So is this the separation of Caster's and Plixia? Maybe? And then we have what I think is Anaxagoras. In the logic of action has been locked onto problem solving. Its survival priority approaches 0. This electrical signal exhibited mutated anomalies. As the first individual to uncover the truth of Amphoreus, its evolution rate is extremely unpredictable. Its behavior also demonstrates the possible self-destruction inclinations of erudition when the path is seeking answers. So that was him in the end dying. And it's interesting, they talk about this like kind of like big moment for Anaxagoras where he decides to like, you know, pack it in as being like, oh, it's self-destructive. You know, he's like, because like a machine again, right? Like a machine. We have the eternal recurrence. So it's a recursive feedback loop triggered by two clusters within the Me-13, which I think, is this world and designed to stall the experiment. Nico's 496, Phainon, wielded the power of destruction to erase Philia's existence from Amphoreus, Cyrene, introducing a logic break in the track of time, and thus then infused the catalyst of remembrance with 12 core flames and regressed the extrapolation process. So they used the core flames to go back in time, which is what they definitely did. Philia's exact role remains unknown, they don't know, so she is maybe like an unknown factor. Due to external variable interference, the eternal recurrence has now been broken. The experiment enters its final phase. Do you think that's Stell? I think that is Stell. I think that's 100% Stell, 100%. The hero within, and we know about this already, we don't have to read this again, it's merged with Stell, right? And it was an imaginary friend that they believed as like being like, them trying to be like a real life form, which I think is so interesting, all this stuff, because like you look at this stuff here, like they know so much here, and then they talk about the idea of Stell being this unknown factor, and then they talk about Stell also merging with the hero within. Stell was like almost like, she's an unknown variable, but it almost feels like fate as well that she was found here as well, you know? Forgotten years, records that are completely missing from Me-13's logs, presenting as blank spaces in Amphoreus' history, never turning readable. These anomalies recur sporadically and randomly across recurrences and show signs of increase. So I don't really know about this. Mem, an on-logical electrical signal, which is so funny that they're like, I don't know where Philia is. Dependent on the external variable Stell growing through the path of remembrance at the end of the dead loop, its appearance changed to Philia. Yeah, there it is. But the mother body memory data was lost for unknown reasons. So the actual body changed. Collective data initiated deep analysis target. Conclusion analysis error. Target lost. So Mem is gone. And Ripples of Past Reverie. This one says that if you take Midamos, Donhong, and Anaxagoras and Aventurine and put them in one room, that is the prettiest party you've ever seen. They put stuff in here like sometimes, and it's so weird. There's Stell, right? And here's an interesting one as well. A nameless from the Astral Express, an external variable that accidentally entered the recursive loop. Also a Pathstrider of Destruction. They resonated with the 12 factors, so we resonated with the Titans, which is interesting because they talk about so mechanically, but I think this actually just means that we became pals with them. In the recursive cycle, this entity assumed a vacant role in the time track and successfully got an Egos 496 beyond the intelligence singularity. So we were able to like assume the role of the time track, which was us taking over for Phainon and then sending him beyond the false sky. The eternal recurrence has been broken. The experiment has reached a terminal stage. So now they're in a situation where it's unknown. I'll be waiting for you in the past. Oh, that's interesting. Did you think Cyrene like wrote that to us? March 7th, unknown entity intrusion. She is here. Donhong, gone home. I remember that very specifically. There's other stuff there I want to look at as well. Like this stuff here, for example. The Aeronova is a computational mechanism, also for the form through which the simulated word Amphoreus iterates its epochs. Its purpose to solve the equation of destruction by feeding samples of conflict. This is what I think is happening, right? This whole thing, the Aeronova, to me, was to cause conflict on Amphoreus to experiment to see which of the Titans would be the one that like was left standing, in my opinion, right? And the one that could like, embrace the destruction the most. That's my view. The electrical signals created from the base of 12 factors, the Titans and the Crisis Heirs are conjugate constructs of mirror in the Aeons and Pathstriders. By having the Crisis Heirs inherit the Titans' core flames, the electrical signals will iterate and improve through rivalry and inheritance. So yes, this is another thing. They wanted all the Titans to grow, it seems, and they wanted the Titans to stand out. And when it came to like Phainon being the one to stand out, as I said, that was the one of the 12 factors. And it's so interesting now, like the Titans were like these godly figures, now they're just being called factors, you know? But they were supposed to mirror Aeons and Pathstriders, and it was all these cycles and all these things that happened were supposed to make them improve. Every single time that they absorb someone, they were supposed to like improve. Authority distribution between electrical signals must be clearly defined, serving as divine authority in experiments. So it's interesting that like, again, they're talking about how like this world was so heavenly and so godlike and so mystical, and here they're saying like, oh yeah, it's like it has to be clearly defined, right? It's like it has to be a divine authority to them. You know, to us it was something so magical. To them, it was just like a way to like make people do it, right? The Golden Blood, a product of the first experimental phase during the 50,000 cycle. Chaz 666 choice was selected to become Lord Ravager by Nuke. So Me 13, I think, is actually Irontomb. Is that correct? Do you think is Me 13 the experiment of Irontomb? That's what this whole thing is. It is the experimentation to create a Lord Ravager. Yes, Me 13. So that would be this whole experiment. All entities linked to the 12 factors began to manifest Golden Blood with traits associated with destruction with a nuke. With their extrapolation circuits, the experiment successfully entered its projected trajectory. So yeah, it was Me 13 was chosen. I think that's Irontomb that was given the name Irontomb, and they started manifesting Golden Blood. The Black Tide. The product of second experimental phase, at its core, the Black Tide is not a physical entity, but the visual effects within the simulated world of destruction, equations, infection. In the 176th 1000 cycle, after the system's extent of chaos passed the threshold, the equation mutated and evolved. The simulated space cannot handle the intensity of the load displayed Black Tide, as visual glitches, infected data forms also bore similar signs of erosion. So, to me, it's like when the Black Tide gets too much, and it evolves, it starts to not be able to handle the world, and it starts being seen as a visual effect, but to us it's seen as kind of something destroying the world. So it's almost like we're dying through like mechanical glitches. And then there's chaos, right? A word form from the Amphorean language meaning chaos. Starting from a certain cycle, all factors and groups have consistently exhibited a pattern of naming themselves the world chaos or its variants. The hypothesis in that particular code was stably inherited across iterations through hypothesis remained unverified. So what we can gather from this is the Aeronova was created as a way to sow conflict to see which of the 12 factors would become not the strongest, but I guess would just stand out in my opinion. The Titans were also created to make different iterations and create rivalry and improve the Titans so that we could find out which was like maybe the missing ingredient for Irontomb. the Golden Blood occurred after after Me-13 was selected, right? The Black Tide is actually just a visual glitch in the world. It's like when a TV breaks, and then I guess this is just meaning chaos as well. And then we can again, if you guys want to see me read other stuff, we can definitely do bit by bit. It might not be a bad thing, but we have so much stuff to read, but we can definitely get through it. With this stuff as well, as we were talking about, we went through all these guys to talk about like their character traits as well. The way they boil down their character traits, which I think is really, really horrible in a way too, is that it is an experiment. Everything's an experiment. They talk about even their personality traits as kind of being like very basic. It's like on the baseline of like who they are. And they say here, of course, as we found it here from Nico's, like just unequivocally, Nico's 496 merged with Irontomb, right? And we talk about even like stuff like this where like the self-destruction was him. Again, this beautiful moment that was like a noble sacrifice, where he sacrificed himself so that Phainon can move on, is just being called the self-destructive inclinations. You know what I mean? The same with like the way they talk about Castris and Polixia is like, hey, like it's just like, hey, they just like separated a little bit. They talk about the tiny trickery as being like, you know, again, walked into self-erasure, and it says it displayed severe dissonance between its altruistic behavior and its premium moment. So is that saying that like even though it's designed for trickery, it went against that, right? Yeah. And then we have the anomaly log, just to go through it one more time. Eternal recurrence, a feedback loop that's meant to stop. It's meant to stop or like change the track of time to stop the Irontomb from being born. And it was a way that Phainon used the 12 core flames to use the destruction against Philia and Eraser, and then creating this like logic break that brought them back to the past. The hero within is Stell, as we said, who was like an imaginary friend, kind of the hero within, that made that Phainon and Cyrene made to want to become a real to learn what it means meant to be a real life form. I think it's so sad as well, like those guys trying their best to like understand like what it means to be real. Really, really dark, I think, in my opinion. But it's interesting that like Stell takes that manifestation, because I feel like she's the embodiment of a hero as well, you know? Forgotten Years don't read much about that. Mem, they can't find Mem right now. And then there's Ripples of Past Reverie. And then, of course, when they talk about Stell, she is an unknown variable. And they even talk about her being someone that they need to, like, stop. You know what I mean? They need to stop. Yeah. And at one point, it's like... it feels like she is someone that they're using. And then she becomes someone that they can no longer use. March seems to be an unknown entity of some kind. She's still here, and we need to find out where she is, because remember, she entered into Amphoreus. We need to find out what's happening with that as well. What I can gather from all of this is that, like, this horrific, like, situation that's happening here, they're boiling it down, like, and I've never seen this happen before in a story, which is so interesting. They're boiling down all of the very horrific things that have happened in this world down to, like, equations and anomalies. And whenever something weird happens, they call it an anomaly, right? And all these weird things that are happening. And all these are considered like something that doesn't make sense. Like Mem, it doesn't make sense to them. It's an unknown variable. The hero within doesn't make sense to them. Why does it look like Stell? How are they able to do this? This is absolutely insane, you know? The Eternal Recurrence, though, has been broken because Stell has entered here, so now they're going to be going into the final stage as well. Yeah, it's also crazy, because even the way they talk about, like, how, like, they talk about Amphoreus itself. Amphoreus was, like, created, like, as a place to, like, sow conflict. So that they could improve the Titans and see if there was a way that they could, like, improve Irontomb. That's the way I look at it. And what stood above the rest was Phainon. He was the one who embraced destruction the most. He developed hatred to a point that was so powerful, and that was the missing ingredient, along with Stell as a Path Strider, that was able to, like, improve Irontomb. And now Irontomb is, like, ready to, like, arrive. With Phainon merged with him, and Phainon, even those final moments, attempted to destroy himself, but actually ended up merging with Irontomb in the end, which has to be pretty heartbreaking as well, because I think Phaimon's intention in that moment then was to be like, I'm done. You know, I'm done. See you later. And trying to, like, save the world in his own way as well, but it actually ended up being a thing where he merged with Irontomb in those final moments, which I think the reverting back to him being a kid was like him kind of like finally getting to rest, but in a weird way, you know, like he doesn't have to think about carrying the weight of the world anymore. But now he's kind of like at a place that, like, nobody wants him to be in, you know, as well. Yeah, and yeah, that's kind of my estimation of everything happening. He was chosen. He wasn't chosen from the start, I think, to be Irontomb. I think what happened was he was showed the most potential and then became the thing that they would feed to Irontomb and merge with Irontomb. And Anouk gazed upon him, was impressed by him, and was like, "This is our guy, you know, hire him." Nintendo hired this guy, you know, like that was that's what it was. So I know I've been talking about this for nearly an hour now, but I don't care. This is a big moment. I think this is the biggest moment in the history of Amphoreus. So to put a pin in everything of like what I think the story is and to summarize everything, we're just going to do one more time just so I can get a good estimation on this. Amphoreus is a world created to sow conflict. It's a world that is the Era Nova, sorry, is to sow conflict. Is to make something that, because not just Amphoreus itself. Amphoreus itself was a experiment. The Era Nova itself was a thing to create conflict where people would like grow and take over Titans and improve so that they could find maybe the final piece of Irontomb. Phainon stood above the rest. They chose Phainon to merge with Irontomb. Through so many cycles, he tried to prevent the cycles from happening and tried to prevent Irontomb from being born, but in the end merged with Irontomb itself. But he left, but Phainon then also handed over the reins after 30 million times or 33 million times to Stell. Stell is now the deliverer along with Cyrene, and they have to go on a journey with themselves to hopefully break the cycle once and for all in this turn around as well. That's kind of my summary of like everything that's happened. Of everything that's happened in this world. And again, I know it's a quick summary, but I think we understand everything that's happening beyond that. And again, in terms of like the quality of the story, guys, draining as F. Crazy. Insane. But I came out of this like really, really happy. I hope that makes sense. I'm not happy because like, oh my god, I loved what they did to my Phainon. I'm happy because I got to play Honkai Star Rail. There's a world where I never tried Genshin and I never played Honkai. And there's a world where I never saw that cutscene. And there's a world where I never saw like what amazing things are doing with the story. Yes, it's mind-numbing. Yes, it's destructive. Yes, it's absolutely crazy. Yes, it hurts. It's all of those things. But my love for this story is so undying and never-ending that I have a nothing but praise for what this story has done and how many twists and turns have happened. And we're not done, right? Because there's a potentially, what, like 3 more acts left? Like, and for me, that's... in fairness, we got through this act, I think, in what, like 3 weeks, which doesn't often happen, which means it was a shorter act. But, well, for when I uploaded the videos, I might have recorded them earlier, of course, as well. But we started Amphoreus back in December. It was around Christmas time when we started Amphoreus. And we're going into April now. It's April 3rd as I'm recording this. Yeah. And we're going into April, and this journey has felt like a full game unto itself. And if you told me where we started in Amphoreus, where I would be now, I would have said, spoilers, banned, get out of here. Out of here. But no, it's one of those situations where, like, if I go back and look at my videos at the start of Amphoreus, I'm going to see a smiling Phainon and a little rivalry between Phainon and Midamos. I'm going to see a Castress who is not sure of herself, but she's with us. You know, I'm going to see Tribi, Trian, and Trinan together. I'm going to see a Glaya, you know, I'd do anything. I would do anything. I would do absolutely anything for them to just patch this game and let me have a sitcom with all these characters where we all go to get coffee every day. But that's not the world we live in, so I'm embracing, just like Phainon embraces destruction, I'm embracing the emotions. And I appreciate you guys all coming along for this, guys. If you want to see these videos early, guys, you can see them on YouTube members or on Patreon for the lowest tier, which is €1 or whatever is in your currency. And it always helps out. It helps out so much. It's actually, like, I will say, like, I have no problem saying this, like, it's all the influx of new patrons and YouTube members has, like, legitimately, like, improved my life. It literally has. So I appreciate that so much. I also want to say, not that there's any pressure, I want to make it clear. If you're someone who's like, oh, well, now I can't cancel. No. Think of yourself first, always, okay? And then if you want to get your name in the text credits it's going by right now, right over Kafka, right beside Kafka, that is the €10 tier or whatever is in your currency. And if you want your name read out at the end of every single video, that is €15 or whatever's in your currency, and it's always very appreciated 100% as well. Guys, I'm going to say thank you first to the patrons of the highest tier, that being Ty Pharaoh 2, Jamie Bowl, Janet the Banana, The Ghost of Inazuma, Felicious Felix, Yuld, Anusta, Assassin, True Peanut Butter, Peter Shelson, Leon, High Kasperian, Jared Beanham, Neo Showerite, Leah 200, Malcolm Conde, and the highest tier of my YouTube, Royal Gamer 7, Blasco, and Lucinagi. See you guys so soon. Bye bye.